Welcome to Reading the Bible with Pastor. Today we're on Exodus chapter 17. The Israelites are continuing to travel in the wilderness. They have already previously been fed with manna and quail and given water by God. But they've now come to a place that doesn't have water, and so they get angry that they don't have what they want. All the congregation of the people of Israel moved on from the wilderness of sin by stages, according to the commandment of the Lord, and camped at Rephidim. But there was no water for the people to drink. Wilderness of sin is not necessarily wilderness of disobedience, what sin might mean in the English language, but sin here is a place or a region in the area that they're traveling. Therefore the people quarreled with Moses and said, "Give us water to drink." And Moses said to them, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you test the Lord?" But the people thirsted there for water, and the people grumbled against Moses and said, "Why did you bring us up out of Egypt, to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?" So Moses cried to the Lord, "What shall I do with this people? They are almost ready to stone me." And the Lord said to Moses, "Pass on before the people, taking with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand the staff with which you struck the Nile, and go. Behold, I will stand before you there at the rock of Horeb, and you shall strike the rock, and water shall come out of it, and the people will drink." And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. And he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because of the quarreling of the people of Israel, because they tested the Lord by saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" Now, this section reminds us of chapter 15, where the people at Marah, meaning bitter, there at the waters that were bitter, complained to the Lord that they were thirsty. The Lord provided them with water. Here they cry out again, but they're angry at the Lord. Meribah and Massah. Massah means testing. Meribah means quarreling. And here the Lord hears their cry and says, "I will be your God and provide for you." If we look at 1 Corinthians chapter 10, Paul also harkens back and reminds us of where this points to. It points to Christ. So looking at 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1, "For I want you to know, brothers, that our fathers were all under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, were all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and all ate the same spiritual food, and all drank the same spiritual drink. For they drank from the spiritual rock that followed them, and the rock was Christ." And so here Paul is pointing out that the spiritual drink that we receive is from Christ, that we are filled up by him. We'll continue with verse 8 in Exodus 17. "Then Amalek came and fought with Israel at Rephidim. So Moses said to Joshua, 'Choose for us men, and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand at the top of the hill with the staff of God in my hand.' So Joshua did as Moses told him, and fought with Amalek. While Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up on top of the hill. Whenever Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed. Whenever he lowered his hand, Amalek prevailed. Moses' hands grew weary, so he took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it, while Aaron and Hur held up his hands, one on one side and the other on the other side. So his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua overwhelmed Amalek and his people with the sword." This is the first time that we actually see Joshua in the text, and here he's commanded to go out and be a general of the army to defeat Amalek. And Moses stands there with his arms up in prayer to the Lord, showing to the people that they will only have victory if the Lord is with them. They show that here that in prayer they are asking for the Lord's assistance, and he gives it to them. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Write this as a memorial in a book, and recite it in the ears of Joshua, that it will utterly blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven." And Moses built an altar and called the name of it, "The Lord is my banner," saying, "A hand upon the throne of the Lord. The Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation." We'll pick up next time with Exodus chapter 18. And remember, this section where the people grumble for water. This will come up again, and it'll actually be the downfall of Moses himself. And we'll get to that when it comes up, and we'll discuss it a little bit more. As always, please subscribe to the channel and share this with others so that they may also read the Bible with Pastor.